So you'll see the Doge is a folder with the OBJ, which is the 3D model, and it's got two textures because it's already been painted, and this is what you can do in Photoshop by exporting the UVs, creating this texture. It looks like this was hand painted with just Photoshop brushes. And you'll see when this gets wrapped around the Doge model, it'll have that nice texture. But it's also got a normal map, and you'll see this is called diffuse and this is called normal. So there's multiple textures that you can use for a material, because material is more than just a solid color. It has reflection properties, it has uh, normal properties, which is what this map determines, and it's kind of a additional 3D effect. So you might have a simple 3D object, and we might not have all the faces on the model for the detail of the whiskers and the nose, but we can drive the 3D appearance of it using this texture. But normals and bump maps, which is just a black and white form of a normal map, that's all kind of complex 3D texturing stuff that I don't think you 2D students will worry about too much. So I think we'll just be applying this diffuse texture, since most of the time we're just going to be getting away with the toon shader. All right, let's bring the dog in. I'm just going to drag him into the scene here. Of course, he's giant, he's cute, and he's got very sharp edged faces. This is another thing you'll find with sometimes when you import 3D models. So the way to fix this is these are hard edges, and an edge can be hard and soft. Just like when we were coloring, we had our linear and our spline. That was a hard edge versus a soft edge. So every edge, we can select any of these edges, or we can just select the whole object. And we'll go to our modeling menu, and under mesh display, we'll soften the edge. Right now they're hard, we want them soft. Sometimes you'll want them hard if you're making a hard surface model, but since this is an organic model, we'll want those soft edges. And same on his eyeballs. So I'll select those, mesh display, soften. And one more thing we can do to smooth this out is selecting our model and pressing 3 on the keyboard. And you can toggle back and forth by clicking 1. So toggling between 1 and 3, you can see it smooths it out. So enabling 3 on a model will smooth it out without increasing the polygon count. All right, so he's definitely too big. So let's go to our scale tool with R, scale him down, and his eyeballs didn't go with him. So let's group our models together. So I'll shift select the eyeballs. I'll hit Control G to group, and you'll see that's down in the outliner here. I'll name this dog group, or excuse me, Doge group. Now when I scale him down, it scales both models. So I'll make him about the right size. I'll move him up with my move tool, and I'm hitting F to focus around him. And let's see what a good size would be. You can even, if you want, he doesn't have to be, he can be doing whatever you want. I might have him sitting like that, so it looks like he's driving it. And I can rotate him like so. Ha! Nice. So now we'll add our texture. Oh wait, he's gotta be using the steering wheel. Well, we'll have to do a little bit of model manipulation to get that to work. So let me just go for a simpler pose. Nice. So I want to select my dog. Let me turn reference mode on my glass layer, and I'll actually name this layer as well. So now I can select my Doge, and I want to also select these eyeballs because I think they're the same material, or they should have the same texture, so I want the same material on both objects. And I'll go to my rendering, my tune, fill shader, and I can do this with a normal Lambert, but I do just want this to still have the 2D appearance. So I'm going to use this solid shader, but I'm going to apply the texture to the color, so it's just a solid texture and no other 3D detailing. So I'll click the checker box here, I'll add a file node, I'll navigate to that folder where my texture is, and I like to do that by just going to my Windows Explorer, copying and pasting this file path, Control C, Control A, Control V, and there's my diffuse texture. I'll open that file, and if you're not seeing it pop up, hit 6 on the keyboard, and that'll enable textures. And there's the Doge. Very cute. Actually, I think he would look nice with an outline to match the rest of this cockpit. So I'm going to give him an outline. It's too thick, so I'm going to decrease that width. And I think I'll also turn off nice. I'm going to give it to this seat as well. Cool. So I'm loving how that's looking. Last thing I want to do is, I think this rocket actually, we should put a 3-tone shader on this because there's a lot of detail in here and there's not much detail in the rocket. So first I'll make the 3-tone shader. I'll assign a fill shader, a 3-tone, and now we have 3 different layers of shininess to work with. Let me assign that to my tip as well. Actually, I think the tip of this rocket here, the spike, I think I'll give this the chrome material that I made. Nice. I'm going to adjust these settings a little bit. I'm going to name this M rocket, and I believe this is the 3rd material we've made now for the rocket. I'm going to fine tune this just a little bit.